entrepreneurial thing.
What's up, Podcast Nation? This is Nick Overby here. The New Agent Podcast Season 2.
Season 2.
Is back, baby.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, not is back, but hey, we're here. So, Nick Overby, your handsome, sexy, bald host here. Today, we are embarking on a new journey. So, this is episode 1 of Season 2, which is really going to be special, and you guys are going to find out why. But let me get into this real quick. Bennie P. Well, what's your government name?
My government name? Okay, Benjamin Hoyt Piccola.
Is that Hoyt?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm Southern Italian. I got an Italian family on one side, Sicilian, Campo Felice, right outside Palermo, Sicily. The other side is Southern Baptist Methodist, everything Southern.
Hold on. So I apologize. I did say put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
And he forgot.
Not do that.
My phone is on Do Not Disturb and on the floor.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I'm a professional.
I'm an
That's all I'm
asshole.
gonna say.
So, well, I also have my phone here for another reason. So, hey, man, thank you for being here. We have tried to and, talked a lot about doing this, but you were always going to be number one for episode 1 in season 2. So, let's kind of give everybody a recap, new listeners, old listeners, kind of why I'm here, right? And why this was all started. And really, it was just about documentation of my journey in this business. It just so happened to transform into something a lot cooler, and that's why you're here today. And so, there's a lot of things that have happened over the past couple of months, things that have changed, transpired, and
It's crazy, man. This industry is wild the way it changes.
really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like where we are now versus. So, how long have you been here?
July.
So what is that, like 5 in the 9 months?
8, yeah, 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess April will be 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do you think?
It's amazing. I'm one of these people that never gave myself permission to leave the kind of style of work that I was in. I got a felony when I was very young, so I was like, that's it. I better stay where they'll have me. And being like working in a kitchen and being a manager of a restaurant, I'm very cocky, and I feel as though no matter what the concept, I'm the best person there. And with steaks, chicken, whatever, front of house, back of house, whatever. I feel like if I'm not the best person there, I'm on the level of, at least tied with the other best person there. So I deserve the most money, and I deserve to be the best in house. Mm-hmm. But within that kind of mindset, me making a decent living in the restaurant industry and having a felony at a young age, I never gave myself permission to do anything else. So this was my step. This was my leap of faith.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Yes.
36. We're the same age. Oh no, you're young, older.
36? Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always kind of surprising when I'm like, oh shit. That's right. I am 37 years old. Yeah. It's funny. I had this conversation with a friend of mine. Like Vanessa Zarate, who is my white buffalo. We were talking the other day about being young, right?
Yeah.
Young at heart. And this industry, especially this office, this island of misfit toys.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It kind of caters to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I found it also has some hindrances in my life, which
Okay.
is good. So that's where I was going with the conversation we had. But we'll touch on that later.
Okay.
I'll write that down on my notepad. But again, this has always been about the other side of the table, and so about what you did to get here. You were talking to me earlier about what can I share, what can I not share. This is an open book as much as you're an open book as much as you want to divulge, right? And so touching back on what this has always been about was documentation of the journey and what Jamie Lunsford taught me, what Nick Brooks taught me, what everybody, I would say a couple of people in this office have taught me about life and about insurance and about everything in between, because there's quite a lot, right? Yeah. So let's start back to you going into the restaurant business, getting here. Let's open that up a little bit. Tell me about 36 years old. So what were you doing when you were 26?
26. 10 years. So I worked at Chicken Express for a very long time, and I was part of their new restaurant opening team. And I traveled the state of Texas and Arkansas and Oklahoma, and I had the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. And I made some good money, for the time in the industry at the time. It was really cool.
Your experience, though.
Now, then I moved out from the country to the city. I was born in the city. I grew up in the country, and then I came back to the city. And what I did is I came here, and my mom was working for a steel manufacturer, and I was gonna go be a machinist because they make great money. And I found I'm not a machinist. I could do the work and run the mills.
$20 an hour is also not great money, though.
Yeah. Now, back then it was cool,
right.
But you didn't make that starting
Touché.
out.
Touché.
I think they gave me like 10 or 12, and then if you make it, then they pay you 20, 30, something like that. So that was what I did for like 6 months. It was really unhappy. I didn't like metal shavings in my hands. It was really a bummer. I could run the machines, but then it's time to deburr the parts. And you got to get the sharp edges off the metal parts that we put in these backhoes. Apparently, we were making parts for backhoes, and these parts would wear out after like 30 minutes. So they had to buy a crap load of these little parts to just shove in there at a time. And we manufactured those. So the belt sander for the freaking to deburr the metal objects, I could do it, but it wasn't pretty. And this one dude was like, you need to make this pretty. They're paying a lot of money for this. And I was like, well, I can't.
I get paid this amount.
Yeah. I was like, it works then? I'm not messing it up, right? He's like, yeah, it's fine. It's just not pretty. It's like uneven. I'm like, okay, well, there's a sharp edge, then I'm making a not sharp edge. I don't know. But anyway, long story short, I didn't laugh. I'm not a machinist. So then I started talking about 10 years ago today, I'm serving tables at Cheddar's.
It's funny. I've talked about this before, and you and I have had this conversation because I come from that industry. The hospitality business tells you a lot about people. You get to understand what people are like when shit's real, because to me, we're all human, right? And I equate it to a dog at a bowl versus us at a dinner table. We will inevitably show our true colors, and the vulnerability of people was always fun to me because I get to see who you are, right?
Yeah.
Like you see the memes and everybody, people who tip their waiters and treat the hospitality service.
Yep.
Like, no, but have you ever been there?
Cheddar's is a tough place to fucking get some
and-
tips. I mean, it's the cheapest menu in town, and it's all from scratch.
Okay, so what year was it when you were 18?
2004.
Where did you work? What was the first restaurant job you had?
Chicken Express.
Mine was 16. I worked at the Chili's on Spring Valley as a host and a busboy.
Nice.
18, first restaurant gig, Papados on 75 in Spring Valley.
Dude. In our industry, if you work at Papados, you automatically get pushed to the head of the class because we feel like you have amazing experience.
Well, it's because of the training.
Yes.
Papados,
Papa Brothers, Papa whatever. Anything Papa is you get mad props in our industry.
It's funny is that my uncle, deceased uncle, who owned, long story short, Antonio's in Addison Circle, would not hire me until I actually did some sort of formal training. And
hey man, there's that old adage, bro. There's a lot of people that feel like everybody in the world should work in the restaurant industry.
100%.
The way that some countries make you be a part of the military, they think the same, that you should be a part of some type of service industry. So
hey,
that
Emma, did she ever work in the service industry? Did you ever work in the service industry?
I ever worked in service.
Hotel, restaurant?
Like anything hospitality was?
Customer service, waitress, waiter. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Talking to the queen of the
So
Zen there.
we're talking. Yeah, Jamie Lunsford, by the way.
First job was Chick-fil-A.
So
Nice.
we're talking
Nice.
about the importance of being in that industry before getting into something like what we do here, right?
I owned Regents.
Nice.
Right.
That's the service industry.
You need to know how to have a
absolutely.
conversation with somebody,
Yeah.
and that's
And it has to be all their idea, and they have to be right, and you have to be a piece of shit.
You just got to be humble.
Well, and so what I said about I believe that the service industry is a necessity because you get to see how shitty other people. It gives you oh no, everybody's nice. Nah, go serve some tables.
It teaches you how to be treated like dirt
Yeah.
and smile, but you're also the highest level of anyone's. Like you're the highest level. You're the coolest person anyone's ever talked to, but you're also the lowest level.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it depends on what person is in line.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's funny that's true with this business, right?
Absolutely, man. I'm from the service industry. I'm very people oriented. I can carry on a conversation very well, but sometimes there's a guy or a lady, and she is the motherfucking king of the ship where she's from, and I am not good with that person, man. Like they run
so
all.
what do you mean?
I don't know, man. I'm just thinking specifically this one guy. It was the lead.
What's specific? Come on, bring
It was this dude from Louisiana, and he freaking came in and he just whipped my ass on the phone, and I was just like, like he beat me up. I felt like I had been physically abused through the phone. He kicked my ass, and what happened was, I broke down. I steered him in a direction, right? Something that would help out him and his daughter, and it was a good direction. It was a good place to be in, and he didn't like the way, he didn't like what I was telling him about it or whatever, and I was just like, I love Perry. Perry would say I was being a pussy, and I was. I was being a pussy in the situation. I didn't fucking stand up to this dude and like, hey man, if you don't have time, let's reschedule. And I followed up with the guy, and he was like, hey man, I called the insurance company directly, and I got it handled. Thank you for your help. And I was like, ooh, that shit put me in a fucking funk, boy. For like a couple days, I was just like, man, that dude kicked my ass, and then he told me that he did it without me. Like, oh my god, I didn't even need my help at all.
It's funny.
It hurt a little bit. I had like a 30-minute conversation with Victoria about it. She helped me. She kind of helped me through that, and it was really cool that she was there to be there for me. But it was rough, man.
Dude, it's funny you say that. I have an amazing client, love her to death. I get an email yesterday. The only reason I put any AV on the board this week was because of a random add-on.
Yeah.
It was her. And I'm like, if you ever need something, call me.
I saw that in the thing.
I woke up yesterday and it was like, so and so submitted this. I'm like, oh, well, cool, thanks. But the whole point is like, my job is to help you, and I could have done. I say this with some sort of narcissism because it would have just only benefited me, right? But that's neither here nor there, man. Because we could talk about that shit all day.
Yeah, we get so many of those.
Well, you know where I'm trying to go with this.
Yeah.
And so let me start by saying this. I am terrible at taking compliments. I have always just kind of been hiding in the back corner, and despite what people might think of my outward personality, I am truly kind of an introvert in a sense.
Bro, that's like extrememely accurate. So for you to have that kind of like view of yourself, that's very accurate. Dude.
Well, thank you.
Very, very cognizant of your self-conscious. You know what I mean?
Gary Vaynerchuk told me being self-aware. Well, not told me, but says being self-aware is. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I want to get to a point. I want to get to I'm going to paint a picture real quick. Mm-hmm. So it's probably, you said July or June?
July.
So it's probably late June. We had just opened up that back part of the office over there, and I wanted to sit over there, and that's where I wanted to be.
When I got here, this place was packed.
Yep. And
the whole back side of the office, which is empty now, was full.
Well, it was the way that it was spread out.
Yeah.
I think it was just an optical.
Yeah, there was 15 feet between each table in here, so it was a lot of room.
Yeah,
for sure.
But there was still a lot of people here.
There was a lot of people.
Since then we have lost some people. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
I think that's fine.
That's the way that the culture grows, and
yeah.
I'll touch on the culture and what I believe.
That's a reference to the success rate too. The whole 92% thing.
Agree. So I remember sitting back there, and I remember when we do the interviews in the Lion's Den, we do as a sit-in, right? So you spend an hour in here meeting with people, and I remember sitting back there, and I remember you walking towards me, and I want you to kind of take it away from there. When I stood up, I remember shaking, trying to introduce myself. I
first got here, man, super nervous. I literally did a Zoom in my car at a medical staffing firm. I don't remember the name of it, but I was an interview because I was looking to jump ship whatever I was doing at the time. A medical staffing firm, like where they offered me $45K a year, and then I would like call around and try to like staff different, like, all right, this person needs a nurse. I'm gonna go find a fucking nurse for this place, and then I'm gonna get a commission off of it. It was really cool, but then I got here and I was like, man, this is way better. You know what I mean? I got here, I talked to Brock and Brandon Lyles, and those two dudes were amazing. Like, to walk into a place and to have those two dudes greet you, it was pretty cool. Those dudes were really cool. And Brandon, I don't know if you know his history, check out his podcast episode, and he's got a history, and He'd held nothing back. He told me exactly where he came from, exactly, and I was like, man, that's fucking awesome. But I knew who I wanted to get to. I wanted to get to you because I'd already talked to whoever the used to be office manager was, and he told me about the podcast and all that stuff. So, I mean, it wasn't even that clear cut. He told me about the Instagram. Through the Instagram, I found the podcast, and I watched every episode because I needed confidence to walk in here. I'm an anxious, anxiety-ridden person, right? I don't have, I'm nervous walking into a situation like this. But that podcast empowered me. Even that guy's interview empowered me, and then the podcast empowered me. So I felt confident to walk in here. And even though I was super nervous to be in front of all these people, I knew Bryce, I knew Z, I knew you, I knew Justice, I knew everybody in here. All the big brothers, I already knew because I watched their podcast. It was fucking awesome. So I was like, if anybody I gotta talk to, I gotta talk to you. You know what I mean? Because I already felt like I watched every episode. So even though I saw Bryce, Justice, Z, everybody once, I saw you fucking 8 times. You know what I mean? So it was really cool.
Whew. Man, I'll tell you what, dude. The intention was never to be. Hey, somebody's.
Yeah.
It was just
Documentation.
fun, and it was not documentation, but it were a release. Like for me, like. This is a place for me, Bennie.
It's a surreal experience for me.
It's okay. Look, it's weird when you look at it from the outside, and then when you get here, it's crazy, right? Like I guarantee you, everybody says the same fucking thing. When you leave, you're like, "Can we do it again right now?"
Yeah, I'm down.
Well, it's just because this is a chance where yes, they're here, but I could still be honest, and I can still be myself.
This is our family.
Well,
Straight up.
But this is also something different. Okay, there is no other. I've done the research. There is no other podcast that, and it was not the intention, but that portrays or allows the newer agent to be honest and, more importantly, prove that you're a real person.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that there's an insurance problem. I believe there's an agent problem.
Man, you talk about that, man. Because I mean, if you look online, every insurance company that ever exists in the world has negative reviews online because either they tried to walk themselves through it and they screwed it up, or some agent screwed them over.
Yeah.
Straight
well,
up.
and to the first point though is that you can account for some human error, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And there's only so much you can do to reduce that. However, what you can reduce is people being dipshits and being
Yes.
and not just being honest with the policy. I mean, like we work as captive agents, and my viewers know that we are captive. Mm-hmm. We deal with a few more wrenches in the car, or whatever you want to call it, and
because we have to be honest with our clients.
Exactly, right? Because there are limited benefits now.
Yeah.
And look, they're insurance regulators that's not here or there, but from an insurance standpoint, yes, every policy is different, but it's upon you as the agent to be truthful and explain that. And if it costs you money, but if you know how to do it right, you parlay that into something that's long-lasting, relationship, referral partnership, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah. Look at Z's last 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, it's almost ironic. There's certain things. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Yes.
He's
What is more gratifying than somebody just called you, like, can you help me? And you're like, I think I can. And then it works out. Like, man. Doesn't get better than that.
Well, here's the funny thing. What's the difference? What's the emotional balance between where Perry is, where he's like, "Fuck, somebody's calling me right now, damn it," and where Z is, he's like, "Fuck, somebody's calling me, damn it."
Yeah.
The importance of the comma, my friend.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's so true.
But at the end of the day, sorry, this yelling.
Hey, this is the den. This is what we do.
I'm better than this.
We waited until it was cleared out.
I'm just more nosy, actually. That's why.
Yeah,
I
want
want
to know what's going on.
Hey, can you tell me, please? Can I get into that?
I'm gonna text him later once we're off this thing.
As far as your progress from the insurance business, I do want to talk about something. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. You've been here for almost a year. Let's talk about that emotional roller coaster.
Man, okay, so like I said, part of giving myself the permission to make a career change after I just bought a house. The buying the house like gave me a lot of empowerment. I use that word a lot, but it took a lot to buy that house. It's a crazy market.
Fuck yeah, dude. I love it, dude.
That I
Giving
fucking
myself the fucking permission.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, well, because I held myself back for so many years, and I didn't realize I was doing it. I gave myself permission to buy a house, and I did. And then I gave myself to make a career change, and I did. And you know what? I'm not broke. I'm not out on the street. I haven't lost that house. So
You know
it's
what's crazy
fucking
is that
cool.
like when you started here, I remember working second jobs, having those conversations.
I did, yeah.
And you were honestly at that point at the fork in the road, so to speak, where do I stay here or do I go back to what I know?
Yeah.
And you chose the right.
Yeah, I mean, I worked a restaurant job for. I'm a country boy. For, 2 months?
tell you
I
what,
came
it's
in. I
about
got a side gig for 2 months.
Here's what's crazy, Benny. You now know you don't ever have to work for anybody again.
Yeah, I'm past that point. It's
That's
cool.
kind of what's crazy to me. Like, whether and look, objectively speaking, right? Usha, where we are now, not the den, right? But the company is.
Yeah.
It's a stepping stone towards because it's not going to be around forever. That's just silly.
Nothing is.
100%.
Yeah.
You now have something that nobody can take away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
nobody can ever tell me, oh, you can't sell health insurance in the state of Indiana. Why not?
I'm licensed there as a non-resident.
No, seriously. Why? What do you need from me? I got everything to back it up.
I can do anything for you.
And that's what's crazy. Like I have a hard time, and so season 2 is about me being candid because there is growth for me. Right?
There's no bullshit in this place. Everything's candid.
Yeah, you're
I
100%
love
right.
that.
So for me, I see the future, my next 5 years. There's so many more open doors because of what Usha and this place has shown me. Why I am here, why I stay here, why I still walk through these doors, because of that woman right there.
She's
Because
really
that ugly motherfucker right there.
that's the dude that brought me in here. I love that dude.
Because and because of Perry, because there is something here that you can't replicate, and you can't fake, and there's leadership, there's things that I will take away, and when I leave and when I go on, I will take those and implement them. But that's part of the big thing. That's why it's important to be here, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some people are really good at working from home when it comes to this type of industry, but not me. I got to be here.
So, it's funny you touch on that. I can work from home. I have no problem with that.
We did kind of touch on this. You have an amazing office set up at home. Mm-hmm. I'm like, maybe my kid's sick and I'm staying home with the kid, and then I'm on the bed and I'm like, man, this sucks. I'm trying to help people. I'm looking up stuff for him. I go to my kitchen table and I'm like, I'm really uncomfortable here. There's like a dirty plate there. Like, come on, like I need to. But if I had maybe an amazing office set up like you have, then maybe I could be able to work from home.
I'll say this though, for me, a lot of it is just being comfortable. And not being comfortable in the sense of being in your comfort zone. Like for me, it's I am not distracted as much as like being here. And I say distracted is not a negative thing because when I come here, it's about helping other people, helping agents, and learning the process. I sit across from Perry and learn all the time. That's why I come in here. So being home,
My first 14 days, I was right across from him, just listening, soaking up every word.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
But it's important also to know self-awareness. Talked about that earlier. Know where you're more productive. Yeah. And it's not a negative thing because at the end of the day, this office is going to do a lot of really cool things.
I've never worked. I talked to. I got my haircut earlier. I talked to a dude about this. I delivered food one time to this interesting office that had like a kitchen, like a full kitchen, and had a pool table, and had like bean bags and couches, and it looked so comfortable. And I was like, man, what do you got to do to work here? And they were like, we're hiring. We got this position, only pays $15 an hour, but we're actually hiring. If you're interested. And I fucking put my head down and I walked out of there. And I was like, yeah, but I can't do this. I can't do this. Again, talk about giving myself permission. I couldn't do that, but I could. And I come in here and it's the same exact vibe. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for an interview, a second interview, a walkthrough, where I get to meet all you fuckers. And Z line pitches me right there because I'm like, what is insurance? And he's like, let me break it down for you. And I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. Like, you fucking blew my mind. You know what I mean? So then I talked to him, I talked to everybody, and it's really cool. Yeah, this place is dope, man. I couldn't work anywhere else.
So,
can you imagine going back to standing behind a counter or managing a kitchen from working in here every day?
Dude, it's what. To answer your question, no, never did. And I've actually tried to imagine it, like you know, so you probably do. Like every time I go through a drive-through or everything, I'm super fucking nice. I'm like, because I know what they're going through, right? My biggest thing is that I know you're working for dick. I know you're working for somebody else's betterment, and you're here just to get to the next step. And so my whole goal is just to
maintain.
Just to treat you like a fucking person, because you know what, you never know what the other person is dealing with. That's what I love about the hospitality business and the insurance business too, because Perry, when I first started, he goes, hey man, I remember hearing him talk to somebody, he's like, how can I make your day better? That to me stuck, because we cater to people, like because nobody wakes up and says, and I've said this 100 times, nobody ever wakes up and does multiple things, but I can't wait to buy health insurance today, or in our position, I can't wait to sell health insurance. Who the fuck says that?
Nobody.
I didn't.
No. I mean, and people will not talk to you for weeks at a time and just completely ignore your call or your text or whatever, your voicemail or email. And when they finally get back on the phone, they're so apologetic. And I always tell them, I'm like, man, this is boring as fuck. So I don't hold that against you at all. I'm a procrastinator personally, and I would put this off until the last second if it was me. So I hold you. It's not your fault. But now when you're on the phone, let's go.
It's nobody. Nobody's ever excited to have a conversation with somebody when it comes to not just insurance, the tough shit.
Yeah.
That's why our society is where we like.
Try telling somebody they can't keep their doctor, and that's like their only option.
Or it's like, or it's like the person that calls you on March 1st, and then on April 1st they call you again, and they're like, hey, I tripped down my stairs, and I think I might have tore something. I don't know how many coverage. Is there any way we can do, or just the most procrastinated? Like what? We had this conversation.
Yeah.
And that's why I like the poker table pitch.
Yeah.
That's my favorite pitch that Perry ever invented, because it's like, okay. It makes sense, because that's who I am.
Yeah. I mean, you can choose to be that guy, but, cards on the table.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at what you're having.
So let me ask you, man. Where you are now is probably a vast difference from where you were a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you plan on being in a year?
I want to get into, my wife's like, can you please just focus on one thing at a time? I want to get into like the Turo thing. I want to buy some cars and rent them out. I want to have a fucking Lamborghini, and like, it's not really mine because it's booked all month. But on a Sunday randomly.
Yeah, but I mean, it would probably be more feasible for you to do that with like a Ford Fiesta versus a Lambo.
You start with Toyota. You start with a fucking army of Toyota Corollas.
Yeah.
And then maybe you get a Lamborghini. Obviously I'm gonna be realistic about the situation, but I would like to get into side hustles like that. I want to keep doing this because it is very rewarding, in all aspects. But I want to have a little side gig. Maybe I want to have a couple, because I live by the airport, so it's a lot of opportunity over there. It's for Airbnbs and Turo rentals. So I think that me doing this every day and focusing 100%, and then developing maybe, and it's also, I'm motivated because I think my daughter it would be good for her to manage a company for me. Mm-hmm. So if I could get into some kind of rental properties and car rentals and then have my daughter manage it, and then I just stay here and I keep doing this every day, keep helping people, that's a good place to be. And maybe in the meantime I can pay off my house.
What does your wife do?
She manages a pain management clinic.
Tell me about your lovely, tell us about your lovely wife.
Just
honestly,
the most,
without her, you wouldn't be
the
here.
most down, ride or die, I'm with you, just ride off in the sunset, like, person that ever existed in my life. And that's why she's my wife. I fucking love the shit out of her.
You ever seen a movie called Far and Away?
No.
Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman. It's about him being
I think
Irish.
I heard the reference, but no.
And they go get a plot of land in America.
Plot of land.
Yeah, well, anyways. That's what I hope to have. So
yeah.
I don't know, man. That's
I'm there. I got the house, man. I got an acre in Euless. To have an acre in the city, how fucking cool is that?
So what's the next? What are you gonna do with it?
Corny enough, man. I have an awesome house. brick house in the city. I always wanted a brick house in a nice neighborhood.
Okay.
I fucking did that shit. It's amazing. I got a half acre up front where
Yeah.
my house is on. There's a half acre in the back where I have a guest house, and my mom lives in the guest house.
So you
man.
can grow weed out there. I will delete this segment.
No,
Have you
I'm
ever seen the
joking.
back of a $20 bill? On weed.
Oh, weed. My mom lives out there, and there's plenty of room. So, like, me just, like, not wanting to let anything go and have all my family members close to me, I want to put a couple little tiny homes back there. And I want to have my fucking daughter have her own little tiny home back there.
Okay.
And if my nieces from out in the country, if they want to come live here, I want to have a little tiny house for them to come live here. 'Cause
Buy
they,
some containers, man.
you know,
Use
hey,
containers, yeah.
let's go. Like, if I can, you know,
That's
couple
what
little
you-
home equity loan, little HELOC, and let's fucking go. We'll build another couple property. We'll have all my whole family on one property.
Literally 40 grand. You can buy 3 containers and you can outfit all 3 of them. And put, well, I mean, you're talking 20 by 10s.
Yeah.
So it might be a little, but anyways, yeah, that'd be great. My
I just
sister
dream
and I
have my own little compound in the city. I love
Dude,
that idea.
that's- so my sister lives in St. Thomas, my younger sister, and the guy that she's worked for years owns this place called Abbey Beach. He ain't dying anytime soon, but there's a beach spot right next to it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. I want to buy 1 or 2 containers, outfit them for a bar because it's not fucking hard. You know that.
Yeah.
And literally
Especially a bar.
in the Cove, there's fucking Carnival cruise lines that fucking drop like, you know, a quarter of a mile out, and they send fucking, you know, droves of fucking people in. And they literally drink there all day.
Yeah.
My sister makes $2,000 or $3,000 a day during the season. I'm like, shit.
You live off that for the rest of the year.
I mean, no. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna live off my fucking healthcare.gov shit. I'm gonna live off my residuals. And go from there. I'll holler at you in a bit.
Fucking love you, bro.
Yeah. All right, brother, man. Look, we will talk all night, but we are at 33 minutes.
What?
That's the crazy part.
We gotta do this again.
Well,
I need a 2.0, and I need a separate podcast of 4 guys sit on a little off black couch, where it's like me, you, Desk, and Z or something.
I was trying to figure out where
Let's
you're
fucking
going
go.
with this. I'm down.
Ancillary episodes of the Nap. You know what I mean?
I can dig it.
Hell
I can
yeah.
dig it. So this is the shameless self-promotion point. So what do you do? Where can we find you, or where can they find you? Go.
I can help you with anything. If you need health coverage, if you need life insurance, call 972-489-0061. That's it.
It'll be right in this area right here, closer towards Benny.
Right here.
But we'll figure it out. Hey man, look. At the end of the day, this is more about you than it is about me.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to leave us with?
It's corny. I said it a bunch of times. Don't be scared to give yourself permission and follow your dreams, because you can do anything, man.
True.
I didn't think I could buy a house. I fucking bought a house. I'm a fucking criminal. I bought a house.
Give me some love before I hang out here.
I love you, bro.
Love you too. Thank you so much for your time.
Hell yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Hell yeah.
Adios, Chico.
Pieces.
Later, bub. That's it.
It's cool, man.
And that's all we do. Yeah, 35 minutes, bro. It's crazy. You don't think? Yeah, that's the wildest thing for me is I'll sit here for what I thought was 10 minutes, and it's 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 35 minutes, almost exactly. 35:06.
Yeah. Gotta do it again, man. I want to, like I said, I want fucking Jason Warden. I want Matt Waller. What are the? That's 2 totally different fucking stories. I gotta piss like a racehorse.